Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your boy, Mr. Owens, and after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
What's going on, Eagles family? This is your man, Big Huss, the one you trust, bringing you all your Philadelphia Eagles latest. Look, Eagles held public practice the other night at the Linc in front of about 50,000 fans. It was jam-packed in that thing for a practice. Eagles fans showed out, man. Pat yourself on the back, you feel me? And it was just a great overall night, man. Now, me and Mr. Owens are going to jump into some notes for y'all, for those who missed it or hadn't heard. But before we get into that, Mr. Owens want to talk to you.
You already know. Thank you, Big Huss. To our loyal supporters, thank you for your continued support. To our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's remember to continue to do our part. Let's continue to like these videos, disrespect that comment section, share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, don't forget to do this. Make sure to turn on them notification bells and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the street like your local neighborhood watch so you don't miss when me and Big Huss continue to drop this pressure on y'all.
Man, you heard him. Go do that. You feel me? Now, look, practice lasted a little over 2 hours. A lot of 11-on-11 drills, team drills, home crowd going bonkers. You feel me? They signing babies and everything else. But before we jump into the nitty gritty and all that, let's start with a little bit of injury news. So some DNP, some folks who did not participate. You had Elijah Cooks, who suffered a shoulder injury in the first preseason game. Kenyon Green with a shoulder. Charlie Hewlett, who's dealing with a neck. Montrell Johnson, who was having a really good camp, dealing with a hamstring injury, and Byron Young, who's dealing with a groin. Some limited participants, our very own Billboard Bond, who's rehabbing that back, and then you had A.J. Brown, who's rehabbing a hamstring injury. Now, Brown's missed the last 4 practices or so and was limited Sunday, but it was good to see him out there moving around. You know what I mean? You don't want that hamstring injury. First, you don't want to rush him back, furthering that hamstring injury, but you also don't want to sit on a hamstring injury, so it'll kind of make the injury last a little longer as well. But the big injury of the night was Landon Dickerson. Went down with a knee injury. We've recently been told it's a meniscus injury. They're going to get a further MRI on it to kind of look in a little bit more in detail on what's going on there. It's not a season-ending injury. He will be back at some point. We're more so just wondering when.
And that's a great thing because when he first went down, I was thinking and expecting it was going to be an ACL injury or something of that nature. Yeah. So even though we don't want it to be an injury, of course, with him having that meniscus injury, we know that meniscus tears usually heal faster than ACL tears. So we're hoping that we get him back sooner than later, because we know with him on the offensive line that we have the best offensive line in the industry, in the league. But with his sudden news that he might be out a few weeks, or we don't know how long he's going to be out, because that opens up the opportunity for Tyler Steen to go to the left side and play left guard in Landon Dickerson's replacement, and then possibly bring in Matt Pryor to play right guard. So we got to keep an eye on that.
And as you mentioned, Matt Pryor, you said over 1,000 snaps at guard. So he's not new to this. You could someone say he's true to this. He's done this, you know what I'm saying? Veteran there. So placing him in at guard, it wouldn't be you're throwing him just a new body. You know what I'm saying? Who would just be a deer in the headlights. Or we'll see what goes on with Kenyon Green. Maybe you could slide him in, but to the point you made, it allows some of those backups to get those reps in. further bolstering the depth that you have and experience, and everything going on there. But we need to get Landon back ASAP. He is a crucial piece to this O-line. I want to say luckily enough it happened early, but luckily enough it happened in early to mid-August. So you still have some time for him to get back, maybe by, as we said, maybe the fourth game, fifth game, sixth game, somewhere through there. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Because Brett Toth, that's one person who I do not want to see in the lineup. And currently, as it's standing, he is the backup behind Landon Dickerson for left guard. But throughout the offseason, throughout training camp, he has been getting beat left and right. So we do have to monitor that situation. And now, because onto some depth chart notes, the cornerback competition heats up, of course, with newly acquired Jacorian Bennett. He'd earned his first team reps at the right cornerback position opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, just his second practice as a Philadelphia Eagle being traded from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the starting look, Adoree Jackson opened up out opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, and then Keely Ringo ran with the two. So, of course, they keep flopping back and forth. Vic Fangio wants to continue getting different looks with that cornerback 2 competition in Lingo, because after that preseason game, because we both have had extensive talks, we're not confident in that CB2 position right now. Linebackers Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Axeman Jr., and Jai Campbell took first team snaps, with Zach Bond still being limited. And now onto the safety shuffle. Cooper DeJean repped at safety in the base look. Sidney Brown was in nickel, and rookie Andrew Makuba was mixed in with the ones and the dime packages. I like to see the fluidity. I like to see the different variety of what Vic Fangio is trying to do in that back end. Of course, with that back end being significantly young, we're not used to this because usually our back end and our secondary is the older veterans, but it's good to see the youth out there and getting different looks. And then finally, the offensive line, Tyler Steen remains at right guard, but Tuesday's alignment will be key if Landon Dickerson, as we mentioned before, because is out.
For sure. As you said, I love to see Drew getting out there. Finally, after dealing with the shoulder injury, he needs all the reps that he can get it at this point for real if he wants to make a push for really that opposite safety position when they go into nickel, because I do believe, as they've been continuing to do, when they go base, Cooper DeJean moves back to safety. So I want to see him get out there, see Sidney Brown continue to make his plays. Sidney Brown's getting a lot of first team reps at safety as well. I'm going to just see these guys kind of push each other and see what'll come of it, because as you just said, we're young. So if it's not going to work out, you still have Justin Simmons sitting out there in the wing as a move that you can make, but you kind of got to see what you got first. And you can honestly say the same thing about the cornerback position. I know we brought in Jacorian Bennett, but you still have an Asante Samuel Jr. out there, or Rasul Douglas. There's some players who are still available if these guys do not pan out. So getting as many different combos, as you can right now is to your benefit as a coach, in the organization, just to see who, who rises to the top.
And real quick, because one thing that I did notice from Sidney Brown in that preseason game, he played with a lot more control. He had a lot of controlled aggression. He was coming down, breaking down, being more disciplined when he was in the open field in regards to open field tackling. He seemed like he knew what position he was supposed to be in and understood his assignment. So that is a step in the positive direction for Sidney Brown.
Absolutely. Now, as you said, control. What Sidney Brown has to continue to work on is control. Brother, I understand you trying to end somebody's life on the field. I get it. You coming with bad intention. It is demon time. I understand. But, bro, keep your head up. See what you're hitting. You got to protect yourself first. You know what I'm saying? So you can continue to inflict pain on the opposition. So keep your head up, drive your feet, wrap up. You'll be straight. He only really injured himself because he ducked his head. I'm guarantee if he had tucked head up tight, you know what I'm saying, you'd have been good. You'd have been good. But as you mentioned, I'm loving what I'm saying. It is a bump up from last year as far as just being where you're supposed to be, being controlled, and still bringing the bad intentions, you know? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who's having a great second year or a great year, I could say in general, Quinyon, man. Quinyon
Ooh.
continues to strap. Hey, he made the top 100 list for NFL players. This list voted, I believe, by the players. I'm talking about just going off his rookie year. This guy is elite. We have a number one corner in Philadelphia. Even with the departure of Darius Slade, this guy is going to be him. Already a top 5 corner going into his second year. Now, we didn't see a lot of A.J. Brown, but we did see some Smitty. And Quinyon was on that man bumper, okay? Strapped up on him. I love to see it. I love to see it. You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron. So, hey, Q won that day. I'm sure Devontae Smith was going to come back with a day of his own. Oh, please believe me. He made some plays in that game as well. Had a back of the end zone grab. I ain't going to leave it out. But he was strapped. He was strapped though.
As you mentioned, because Quinyon Guantanamo Bay Mitchell is one of the bright up and coming corners in this league. We definitely got a steal with him in last year's draft, with him falling to us in the 20s for the pick.
I believe 22.
22, correct? Thank you. And we got a glimpse of what he can do in his rookie season last year. It was never can Quinyon keep up with the elite wide receivers that we have in the NFL. It was more so, can Quinyon catch the ball and take the ball away? Because that was the only issue. He can mirror his receiver. He can be in phase with his receiver. He can route recognition with the best of them. It was when he's in phase to make a play, can Quinyon come down with the interception? And last season, it took until the playoffs for him to finally get his first interception. But we're getting great news out of camp this season that he is continuously taking the ball away. And of course, he broke up 2 passes from QB1 to Devontae Smith with textbook coverage. He was tight on his bumper, tight, discipline, and outside of our other corners, DPI free. So it's not too many flags that are some laundry coming onto the field, but I'm super excited for Quinyon. I know when we grew up Big Hustle, we had the likes of watching Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent, Asante Samuel Sr., Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown. We had those type of corners. So to get a young corner that is groomed here in Philadelphia, well, basically a homegrown talent, it's a beautiful thing, because we know here in Philadelphia how we love some corners that can strap up and go mano a mano with your best player.
Absolutely. We got ourselves one, and he'll be here to stay. When his time comes around, I know Howie and Jeffrey Lurie gonna break that man off. I guarantee you. Back the Brinks truck up. But another some more news. Like I said, I mentioned Devontae Smith. He caught a deep ball over Cooper DeJean, back of the end zone. It was a dime from Jalen Hurts, 25-yard dime for real. Beat the safety. Safety was Sidney Brown. Unfortunately, couldn't get over. But you also move on. We talk about the linebackers and some of the youth. Vic Fangio dialed up some blitzes in this game, and these blitzes were going versus your first team offense now. So the starting linebackers in this game, if we had mentioned, were Jahai Campbell and Axman Jr., and they both, when blitzed, got home. Hey, both of them beating Saquon Barkley. You had Jeremiah Trotter, who had came with an impressive rep, kind of over Barkley. Then you had Jahai Campbell, who came and sidestepped Barkley to get home for the sack. Vic doesn't care if it's the pups out there, if it's Billboard Bond, Smile Munden, me, whatever. Hey, he's like, hey, we blitzing this year. Okay, the linebackers, hey, they have to get home, and to see them do that, and we know how much we love Saquon. Yeah, he's an all-around back. I mean, he gets a lot of hype and notice because of his running ability, but he's a great pass protector as well. So for both of those guys to come in, a second-year guy, rookie, be able to beat them, the lights are on. Like I said, the folks was out. It was out, man. Damn near nighttime game. Them boys came in, made plays. You know, so I like to see that they're being used in different ways and being used to the best of their abilities and capabilities and things of that nature. But I also like to see that Vic is switching it up. We didn't blitz that much last year from the linebacker position. So to see him really starting to get in his bag there, yeah.
And you got to even think, because we didn't even blitz in the Super Bowl at all. That shows how much Vic Fangio didn't blitz last season. You see what I'm saying? Just to send his four, that's what happens when you have 4 down rushers who can apply pressure and get to the quarterback without sending extra men on a rush to add pressure. But as you mentioned, to see these linebackers who have the agility, who have the athleticism to get home and blitz, it's great that Vic Fangio is not like one of the older defensive coordinators that's stuck in their ways and it's like, no, I've been doing this for over 20 years, 30 years, and I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. No, he's playing, as you mentioned, to the strengths of his players and putting them in the best position to succeed. And to add on to what you already said, because Jahad Campbell had another sack earlier, plus Nolan Smith showing and flashing his hands. He got an INT on a back up series. You see, I'm saying, coming back from his concussion injury, Nolan Smith making an impact. We love to see it because we definitely know with Brandon Graham departing, and then that other guy who said that he knew from training camp, from training camp, that he wasn't going to be a fit. We need these edge rushers to step up, and that is a huge play to be made by Nolan Smith. And then finally, rookie Smile Munden Jr. also notched the sack on a blitz, another Georgia Bulldog.
It don't matter who it is. Smile, Zach, your mother. Hey, we're blitzing this year. It's a different wrinkle. And Fangio's already shown it. I love it because, honestly, we have the D-line, but to add the pressure behind it, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks are not going to sit up through that pressure, want to deliver the ball. They're going to want to tuck. They're going to drop their eyes. It's going to lead to turnovers and a lot of sacks, especially if we could truly figure out this CB2 spot on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be another big year for this defense.
We were going to put Reggie, the team dog, in there on some blitzes. You feel?
Hey, and he gonna get home.
Reggie gonna get home.
For real. Now you had Jahan Dotson. He's also actually having a really good camp.
Yes.
He had a spectacular grab from Jalen Hurts on the right sideline. Excuse me, little toe tap, as my man would say, toe tap drag. You feel me? Really, he's just really been solid. He's had a more consistent camp this year, and the chemistry that him and QB1 had put in over the offseason is really starting to show up. I honestly believe that we'll have a bigger year from potentially wide receiver 3 in Jahan Dotson this year, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see, because last year my man was really underutilized. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I understand they say QB1 is one of those guys, hey, he has to trust you. I understand as quarterback, I got to make sure when I put this ball in your hands, you going to make plays. You know what I mean? And he didn't really get those opportunities early. But as you've seen as the season went on, start getting a couple more big-time throws, man, to now you getting balls in the Super Bowl, and you say that's transitioning on through the offseason. Y'all putting in that work, transitioning up to camp, putting in that work. If we can come out here with a true 3 wide receivers with the running game we had, and you add the tight end, oh my goodness. It will be scary hours. Like, straight up.
For sure, bro. Like, that's how I'm looking at the Jahan Dotson situation, because me and you, everybody on this channel knows that we're big Jahan Dotson supporters. From his days at Penn State, we've always known that Jahan Dotson is a phenomenal route runner. And to be behind AJ Arthur, Juan, K, and Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, you have no choice but to get better. Obviously, as we see, QB1 is trusting him more because, as you mentioned before, because QB1 ain't throwing you the ball unless he has you have his full trust. And there was some plays last year where, in some games where Jahan Dotson was open and QB1 look his way and he'll hesitate. And he did not pull the trigger to throw the football to Jahan Dotson. But then, as you said in the Super Bowl, well, it started off against the Packers when QB1 bought time in the pocket, then threw a dart to Jahan Dotson in the back of the end zone. Then he got that catch in the Super Bowl. We see QB1 is trusting Jahan Dotson more and more and more because with Jahan Dotson in that slot, he's a mismatch for a lot of defenders. He has the speed, he can get his separation, and he has the hands to make plays. What I want Jahan Dotson to do is to take this next step because with him only being 25, because sky's the limits for him. Because if he shows that he can be a more than capable third wide receiver here in Philadelphia, I can guarantee you that Howie will not have no problem opening up the wallet and making sure that we secure Jahan Dotson's services for the next few years, bro. I can promise you that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, it doesn't matter what kind of year Jahan Dotson really has as far as from a pay wise. And I say that like he can have a big year for number 3 receiver. He's not going to command a big check. The check that he'll get will be a reasonable one. I'm sure it'll be something 3 years, maybe 30 million, 3 years, maybe 40 or some million, something that the Eagles could really swing for real. So, and even if it's not here, he puts on a show this year, 31 other teams out there that I'm more than sure will pay for his services. You know what I'm saying? And he can go in and be maybe a nice number 2 somewhere. I don't believe he has number 1 ability, but a nice 2 would be something that he could do for a reasonable situation. But I honestly think he's going to have a big one. I do, like you said, those times that Jalen Hurts looked at him was like, no, sir. and through the 6 or 1-1, you feel me? Or AJ Brown, I think those times he will actually dump it to Jahan and let Jahan make his plays, get his 10, 15, 20 yards, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? I think that it was just a trust factor. Jahan came in a little late last year. They really didn't have time to build that chemistry. They had to build it throughout the season. But by that time, we're already in the full swing of things. You know what I'm saying? So got a full off season with him. Like I said, it's showing up, man. I'm really looking for a big year from Jahan.
Because real quick, before we move on, because Jahan came in, I want to say a week before the season started last year.
It was something like that.
Yeah, and then you got to remember, because people could always be like, well, QB1, he knows how to throw to Smitty and AJ Brown. You got to think QB1 played with Devontae Smith in college, so he's had those reps. QB1 has played with AJ Brown since 2022, so he's had those reps. Those are people that have been here. Those are people that have gained QB1's trust. Well, as opposed to Jahan Dotson coming in a week before, not really being up to speed where QB1 wants him to be up to speed. We're going to have a big year from Jahan Dotson.
Nah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Sidney Brown, we mentioned him earlier. QB1 dropped the dot over Coop and Sidney back of the end zone to 6 for a touchdown. But he came back, had a PBU against Dallas Goedert on a throw from Jalen Hurts, which was a good play, a very good play. Sidney hasn't had the biggest of camps, hasn't had the best camp. He hasn't had a bad camp, but he hasn't been wilding folks this year.
Right.
So he has to continue to stack plays, stack days, and show why he should be the other safety. And this is a good notch in the right direction. He'll continue with special teams and things of that nature. But Sidney, stack your plays, big dog. Now, a linebacker who made a couple tackles against Keelan Robinson in the scrimmage, but they say might not make the team just because, for once, the linebacker depth is pretty legit. It's pretty legit. You know what I'm saying? So this guy might not make it, and that's rookie Landon Dickerson. He had a TFL against Keelan Robinson in the live takedown drills and the live scrimmage, but they saying although his camp has been good, he might be one of those guys who gets let go, but I'm sure somebody else will pick him up when they're filling rosters and these special teams folks, just these depth pieces overall. Now, a name that has continued to flash day in, day out basis, week in, week out basis. Hey, this guy, Moro Jomo, continues to have a great summer, man. honestly, we all know how much we love Milton Williams and the loss in which that was. But I genuinely don't feel like it's going to be a drop off. In some regards, it can even be a step up with Moro Jomo here. He got into the backfield combined with Nolan Smith for a sack, and then later batted down a pass from Jalen Hurts at the line of scrimmage. He has been disruptive. I'm not being funny, ladies and gentlemen. All camp long. You cannot go a day at camp without hearing Moro Jomo's name as far as making a play, whether it be against the run, against the pass, batting balls down, whatever the case may be. The sky is the limit for this kid when you put him with, like I said, the Vanilla Gorilla and Ty Robinson, who made a play in the opening preseason game, Jordan Davis, JC. That D tackle room has to be one of the best in the league. Has to. He already comes in. I mentioned another video, second in the league in D tackle pass rush winning percentage, only behind Chris Jones. And we all know how good Chris Jones has been over the past several years. So to even be in that type of company, man, Moro Jomo, he's gonna get him a bag in about a year or so.
For sure. Yeah, Moro Jomo's gonna get paid, bro. We knew Moro Jomo was gonna be this type of player from day one, because we're not one of these type of Eagle fans where when the preseason game comes on, we're not intrigued and we're not tuned in and watching it just as if the starters were playing. We watch it from when they used to have the 4 games, now down to 3. We knew that Moro Jomo was going to turn into a monster. Now, somebody else who I want to throw in there too that impressed me in the preseason game, even though they've been pressing since last season by making a practice squad, is Gabe Hall. Gabe Hall has been on a tear. It's hard because his name gets buried underneath all the names that you just mentioned, Big Huss. That's kind of hard for him to get into that rotation. But if Gabe Hall continues to play the way that he is doing, I will not be shocked with him making the 53-man roster, with him being 6'6", 295, and him being fluid in his hips, being able to move his hips the way he does and getting down the line of scrimmage. That is somebody who you want to put on this team to add depth pieces. Now, some quick hits before we get out of here, Big Huss. As I mentioned, Gabe Hall knifed into the backfield for a tackle for loss. His stock continues to rise amongst that defensive line group. And then Keely Ringo. I know we've been hard on Keely Ringo. Everybody in Philadelphia has been hard on Keely Ringo because he is in that competition for that cornerback 2 spot, but he had a pass breakup against the new phenom, Darius Cooper, who has been out here making plays and look, turning people's heads.
Yeah, bro. I like Darius Cooper, bro. Ooh. He is a baller. The Eagles are really starting to take notice of him. He was getting some return reps, and I believe it was kick return. I'm not sure if it was punt return, but some return reps. He was getting in there with the ones. This guy isn't built like your typical receiver, more 5'11", 210 pounds, put you in a running back mode. Hey, strong hands. What I like from him in the preseason game, every time I saw him make a catch, full extension, all hands. All hands. I said, yeah, we might be on to something, ladies and gentlemen. You put this man in here, bro. AJ Brown. Hey, what's my man? Debo Samuel. S. Better receiver than Debo, though. But S. And I was like,
go ahead.
He's about to say great. Hey, and it's just, hey, you mix him in what we already have, he could be that new wrinkle.
Mm-hmm.
That feature, that gadget player that just get the ball to him in space, player that we don't outside of Saquon. I'm sorry, receiving wise, I should say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But no, like me some Darius Cooper, y'all.
Yes.
He has been showing up and showing out.
Yes. Darius Cooper, bro, he's more the CrossFit Debo. I second with BG. I second
the leaner Debo.
The lean cut Debo. I second what BG said.
Debo, it's gonna be between us two. He gotta be in shape first. He don't look like he in shape right now.
What? He needs to lose some pounds.
Yeah, he does. Sure.
All right. No eating chicken and mumbo sauce in the DMB. But yeah, Keely, It looked close to a DPI, but it wasn't called. That is something that Keeley has to continue to work on as he transitions in his career. Now, Grant Calcaterra made a strong contested catch against Reed Blankenship in coverage. We know that Grant Calcaterra can make all the catches. What we need to see out of him is better blocking. And from what I saw from him in the preseason game, it looks like he has been working on that blocking. I don't know to what point he's at yet, Big Huss, but at least it's a step in a positive direction.
A step indeed. I need him to take 1,000 more. But a step indeed.
And Mr. Will Shipley, who is in a battle with the RB2, for RB2 with AJ Dillon. Both of those gentlemen have looked very good in training camp, especially in the preseason game. I know that you covered the offense because Will Shipley went dumb, crazy, and stupid in that game, and AJ Dillon did as well. What I like about Will Shipley is the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So now we can incorporate more screen game, because I don't know, with us growing up as Philadelphia Eagle fans, we've been known to run heavy screen game. But over the past few seasons, we have gone away from that. But Will Shipley is more than capable of doing that. But he had a couple of passes that he caught for big gains in the flats. And then one last person, EJ Jenkins, Big Huss, couldn't haul in a ball up the seam from Tanner McKee. Jenkins had an incredible training camp last year, but has had a quieter 2025 training camp. So let's see if he can turn it up a little bit more to see if he can fill in for that tight end 3 role.
Absolutely. Yeah, these players just have to keep stacking days, keep putting their best foot forward, stay healthy. As we mentioned, Landon Dickerson earlier, we're wishing him a speedy recovery. Yeah, we need him back ASAP Rocky. We'll see how that pans out, but stay glued for more videos. Me and Mr. Owens gonna be coming to y'all. Hey man, things are heating up.
Things are heating up in a big way, Big Huss, and that's why we have to make sure that we all continue to do our job. Let's continue to like these videos. They help with the visibility in the algorithm. Disrespect those comment sections, share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, don't forget to do this. Turn on them notification bells, also known as them Liberty Bell looking thingies, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates.
And you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. So make sure you locked in. Yeah, you there for it. But if you don't know, I go by Big Huss.
And I go by Mr. Owens.
And this is the Main Thing podcast, where we keep the main thing
the main thing.
I hope everyone's having a great week. Stay tuned. We coming at y'all. But till next time, it's flag was fly till we die. We love y'all. Stay blessed. Better.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.